Steady now.
Though a developer since the early 90s, Traveller's Tales would get their first shot at a big original IP with Haven: Call of the King, after mostly making games for the likes of Disney, Sega and Sony. Planned as the beginning of a trilogy, the infamous lack of industry buzz and crowded competition from the likes of Ratchet & Clank would cause Haven to tank, even with publisher Midway marketing it heavily. The result is a missed opportunity, but on the game's own merits, it's still a solid platformer with a hefty dose of variety that, disappointingly, is only undone by a few key flaws. Haven follows the titular character, a young boy enslaved under the tyrannical empire of Vetch. He dreams of the Golden Voice, a strange contraption which means little to our hero at first, but it immediately garners the attention of the big bad. As Haven goes to work in the mines, his friend Chess is being interrogated by a guard, and after a stray bullet causes a cave-in, Haven is knocked out. With Chess missing, Haven sets out to find the meaning of his dreams while rescuing his childhood friend. The story is pretty mature considering the target demographic, with darker moments dotted around a lot of narrative to ingest. But it's undone at points by a lack of clarity, some cringe-inducing characters, and an unsatisfying cliffhanger ending which would have led to the sequel, but instead remains unsolved nearly 2 decades later.
Oh, I shot down one of Vetch's drones and it sort of landed here.
On us?
On you.
Right.
Right.
So, who's angry at us?
Oh, do you want some help?
Yes, yes! Fire from above! We need to put it out at once, please! Help us!
A surface inspection would lead most to believe Haven is just another platformer. The main crux of the game is rather similar to Jak and Daxter, with Haven placed into a bevy of areas that task him with finding cogs to open up the path, feathers to call in his robotic bird pal and often provide assistance, and navigate several jumping challenges. Traveller's Tales made a fairly robust platformer, but one which suffers from issues. Controls never feel quite right, with Haven sometimes failing to jump when pressed, slipping off edges, or the camera leaving you a wide margin for error as you struggle to line up jumps. The platforming is fairly straightforward, lacking the refinement of the best of its peers, but keeping pace above the bottom of the barrel. Where Call of the King really stands out is in its sheer variety. Outside of the aforementioned platforming, Haven will often have access to a bevy of vehicles. This leads to car combat challenges, forcing you to take down enemy tanks to gain cogs, shoot away on a turret while defending a ship from attacking pirates, and engage in spaceship dogfights. The transition between mechanics is always smooth, keeping the game feeling like a flowing adventure. That's not to say everything is immaculate, however. These challenges can often be very difficult, and while checkpoints are semi-frequent and restarting is instantaneous, it is still a stiff challenge at points. Haven must also contend with a constant problem, as slaves are injected with a virus. He, therefore, must constantly collect antidote orbs to stay alive. If you happen to forget this while engaging in a tough encounter, it can be super irritating to then just die as you are about to overcome it. Other elements, again, suffer from control issues. The Sphere Shield is the main offender, which encases Haven in a ball and often tasks you with navigating narrow paths while keeping your energy topped up. They prove cumbersome to steer, like roller skating on grease. Hovercrafts too can be difficult to navigate, with slow steering that makes cornering a dangerous proposition. The other issue with Haven is, while the spread of genres is impressive, they don't quite come together to form a cohesive whole. While going from clearing a bug nest to space combat seems cool, nothing really stands out as exceptionally well done. Some elements work fine, others suffer from control issues, but nothing really stands out as top notch, like a jack of all trades, but a master of none.
What's happening? Dr. Spong?
Oh, awake at last, are you? Oh, it's about time. About time. I've been banging on this gong for hours.
Haven, Call of the King, boasts visual highs and lows. Impressively, the game maintains a smooth 60 frames per second, even under explosive conditions. On the other hand, levels look a tad flat and uninviting, characters often lack detail and appear particularly ugly during cutscenes, and though some of the art direction looks cool, it's undone by a generally unimpressive engine. The sound ranges in quality too, with the pros being often bombastic music and potent sound effects, and the cons being uneven voice work, which ranges from decent to downright irritating and incomprehensible. And that, rather neatly, sums up Haven, Call of the King on the whole. An ambitious melding of elements, which ranges in quality, and never quite gels together. The spread of gameplay is noteworthy, but segments can range from action-packed fun to frustrating and mechanically flawed. The presentation only undermines the interesting narrative, and though the quest is lengthy and even bores optional towers to explore, some players may not find enough to see it through to the end. But if you're a genre aficionado keen for a challenging, varied alternative, the incomplete adventures of Haven may still be worth a look.